we're live. I guess I should say welcome
Talk, brother.
to our latest edition of
TNT.
TNT.
Boom.
I am Pastor Joe, the great Michael LeMelle the first.
This guy. Need to move
And,
it down so you can see you because
we
you're more
are-
important than me. More
Rolling.
important than me.
Nope, I need to move this way.
All right. We had a little hey Ash, what up, sis? We got Karen in there, TNT.
We rolling.
So
We need some explosions. Come on, boom.
get some
y'all
explosions. We need some share this link. Y'all can share it too. That's what we in here trying to do. We had it all set up, had people in there, and then
Technology.
yeah, they say Reverend Mercury's in retrograde,
That's what they say.
so that's contributing to electronic faults and defaults and waywardness.
Interesting. I won't disagree with that.
We're gonna be looking at judges today. Judges. The price of disobedience. Talking about Samson and the price he paid. And it was interesting that we've been talking about Jonah.
Yep. Yeah, Jonah.
Jonah was amazing.
Oh,
That was a great time. Then we talked about Abraham. We were supposed to talk about Samson. Something happened with Samson last time. This is interesting. Second time. So it must mean we're supposed to get on that.
Maybe so.
We talked about Abraham. Great conversation. We actually did it in the car.
Right.
It's a great conversation. We're trying to work out some things so that we can be able to do it more mobile in different places. We may have a solve for that. God is going to bless us.
Of course.
And then today, trying to reach back and get Samson. We have been talking about in the backroom banter, what could make a man give up God's promise to him? I'm going to drink on that, Doc. You can talk.
That's easy. Method Man said it best.
What do you say, Doc?
Nothing make a man feel better than a woman. He would be down for whatever. Method Man chapter 5 verse 6.
Method Man. His name was Craig. Is his name? I think.
Is that it?
Clyde.
Yes.
Cliff. Something like
Clifford.
that. Clifford. If
Yep.
you're watching it, we're gonna make sure you see this.
Yep. Got you.
Quoting you, sir.
On this.
Man.
What could make a man disobey God? And a woman can do that.
Can do it, or the man can do it himself. This is the thing. So purposefully, we went with Jonah because there was no woman influence.
No woman involved.
But we have 4 other examples specifically of a woman being involved.
Yeah.
The interesting thing on that, I was told, I think it was Allison said this, he still can make his own choice. It still was his fault. Like it's still on the man.
Oh, yeah.
I receive that and respect that.
Oh, yeah.
Because no matter the influence, you should still do what God's told you.
Absolutely. You cannot absolve yourself from the responsibility. You got to think about it like this. You're never going to be tempted with stuff that you don't like, right?
You're going to be tempted with what is temptable.
What is temptable?
What is your temptation? What seduces you potentially? Right. Oh man, that's
exactly.
Good, sir.
Right. So when you yield to temptation, it's not the temptation's fault. The temptation did what it's supposed to do.
You didn't. Reverend, that's getting fun to me. Wow. Exactly. The temptation did what it was supposed to do. Right. You didn't.
You did not.
I'm gonna sit back. You go ahead, sir.
That's it. The temptation's over there singing "My Girl," and you.
I get you say what can make me feel, and then you start looking.
There it is. My girl. She'll mess you up every time.
Wow. Samson was on a journey. He was doing a couple of things. He was being a defender of the people for God, of his people. And I have to think, looking at these scriptures, that he was kind of borderline cocky. What say you?
Oh, he had to be. Yeah, borderline cocky. You know, because man, I'm glad you said that, because a lot of times, you know, we read the Bible with this real like Holy Ghost lens, and we forget that these are people,
real people, practical people,
exactly,
human people.
Samson, if he's like any other parent, if your birth was something that was kind of supernatural, a literal angel comes and talks to your dad, jumps into the fire, disappears, you're going to be telling your child there's something very special about you.
True indeed.
And your child is going to grow up with a certain level of arrogance, cockiness, confidence, if you want to say, throughout his or her lifetime. And then when you couple that with the reality that the hand of the Lord was upon him and caused him to kind of function supernaturally, yeah, I mean, he probably did have a high level, very healthy self-esteem.
And he was knocking people out, smacking them.
That's another thing. You hit somebody one good time
with confidence,
you feel good the next time.
He was knocking them with confidence,
dropping them. Like,
so yeah, that gave him an edge, if you will. An edge.
Yeah, and most of us understand. You know, we've seen the stories, we've seen the movies that Samson had superhuman strength. The thing about it, though, is the Bible is very clear that Samson had dreads.
That part.
That he had his hair was in locks.
That part.
He probably was not what you would see, though, depicted, because you see this big, strong guy walking around. Samson was probably our size,
like me,
right?
That makes more sense,
right?
So you know God did it,
so
and
you know
not
God
him.
did, right? If he's walking around like Hulk Hogan, that's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
Right? So it's like a regular dude. You
See how that worked?
That had dreads.
God takes what appears to be ordinary and makes it extra.
Extraordinary. Come on, man.
With him, with his power and his spirit. You talking good.
Exactly. Had supernatural. And a lot of times, I think one of the things, and I guess we'll get into this, and it being a guy who's highly anointed, particularly a creative in the arts, a lot of times, highly anointed people have a high drive spiritually, but they also have a whole lot of stuff they got to deal with in the physical and the natural that drives them the other way. And highly anointed people sometimes just got habits and proclivities and weird things that they have to try to bring under subjection, or allow the Holy Spirit to help them bring under subjection. And you see that kind of at play in the life of Samson, that he's got a heavy call on his life, but he's got some heavy call the other way, I guess you would say, on his life.
Yep. I think being aware of self, I talk about this a lot, self-awareness, situational awareness, and self-awareness.
Right.
Both can help you in your walk.
Yeah.
And being very clear about that. Focus, and self-control. Focus, self-control.
Right.
And Samson did not exercise either one.
Nope.
He went in the 13th chapter of Judges to the enemy's camp and seen a girl. Let's just start there. He digging the women. He got them around. Yeah, he loved the ladies. Especially because he can do things to impress them. Right? That's what I say. He halfway cocky, like he got a little whoop, whoop, whoop. You know what I mean? Then he got the ladies. Well, it ain't good enough to just have a lady. You got to go to the enemy's camp and get a lady.
Yeah, I was going to say, he didn't just love the ladies. Man. He loved, the Bible talks about them being foreign women. Or he loved the ladies that he was not supposed to have.
That you're not. You're talking good. Foreign. I had a conversation recently about the movie King Kong. If you don't know, that movie is literally about Jack Johnson, a boxer, black boxer in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s, who was fighting and beating up the folks who were non-hued men. He beating them up terrible.
Knocking them out.
And then he said because his family was slaves and they were from Galveston, Texas. Shout out Galveston. And it was the racial divide was even nothing that we could imagine even now.
Right.
He was only going to be seen with white women.
White women.
On his own.
Right. He became a millionaire.
And because he was with white women on his own, I like to think that he didn't even really like the white women. It was a jab specifically at you.
Right. Can't stop me.
You can't. I'm going to beat up your men. I'm going to take your women. I'm going to have 2 of them on my arm. And we're going to travel and do what we want to do. Exactly. So then the thing was, Emil, what's up, brother?
Emil is back.
Yes, sir. And sir, you see it's live and people just kind of busting in. So he specifically had some laws made because they couldn't get him under control.
Right.
Trafficking laws, like taking people across state lines.
Yep.
Because Jack Johnson was doing it with white women.
Yep.
And he was taking them just for travel, just because he could. So they try to put parameters on that.
Right.
Same back with Samson. He said, I know I can get this woman. I know I can get this woman. But I want the foreign woman, the one
black and coming
over there. The one over there. But more so, Samson went to the enemy's camp. Specific, yeah. All right. Specifically went there to get a foreign woman in the enemy's camp.
Right.
Timnah.
That's where it started.
And he said, listen, Daddy, go get me her.
She won't white though.
It was a parallel.
Yeah.
Because it was somebody you're not supposed to have.
Right.
That's the thing. Not supposed to have.
You saying I ain't supposed to have no white?
So you're not supposed to have. I was saying Jack Johnson got in trouble, so don't you get in trouble.
Oh.
That's what I was saying.
You can have whatever woman
you like.
You like.
You can have whatever you like.
We got the hip hop going tonight.
Until that, yeah, we just quoted Method Man from the book of Method Man.
From the book, okay. T.I.S.
So we were talking about that. His daddy said, well, now, what do you want me to do? He said, well, go get her for me.
Go get her.
He's like, well, you can have these women, I want her. So he went down. We're going to speed through the story. He went down, tried to get this girl for his son. What's that? I think that's chapter 14.
Mm-hmm.
He seen the woman. He wanted to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistine. The father and the mother knew not that it was of the Lord. So, because he wanted to really build a case against him.
That's right.
This is what I wanted to be. Because it doesn't look like something to you, doesn't mean it's not the Lord.
Boom. Boom.
Yes. Judges chapter 14, verse 5, verse 4. Judges 14 and 4. But his father and mother knew not that it was the Lord that he sought an occasion against the Philistines. For at that time, the Philistines had dominion over Israel. If I get one of their women, have her close, I can have do an inside job. Yep. Have an ally on the inside. I can do this recon. See how that work?
Yep.
But we didn't see that that was your plan.
Right.
We didn't know
We
it.
needed to know. We needed to know.
But why did you need to know?
They don't.
So the point here,
I'm talking to you.
God already whispered in his ear, say, look, do this. This gonna be the plan. But the parents was a little
against
salty, like they didn't know. Then went Samson down and his father and his mother to Timnah and came to the vineyards of Timnah, and behold, a young lion roared against him. Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he rent him as he would have rent a kid. And he had nothing in his hand, but he told not his father or his mother what he had done. They went with him. They didn't know that God told them.
Right.
They followed along anyway, what the plan was, what he was saying. And then he still,
the plan, or were they trying to still talk him out of it?
They might have been trying to talk him out of it.
Okay. See how that
But
works?
the book say they were there.
They went.
And he still, this the part. they traveled together. They were traveling, and when this incident happened, for the Lord to come upon him, he had to be away from them.
Yeah.
Now talk.
There's nothing else to say. That's it. That's it.
The experience, that Holy Spirit experience, was still apart from them.
Still, yep.
And he went, and he didn't tell them.
Didn't tell them.
No, ain't none of their business.
How can you say? Because people,
What God does for you is for you.
it can affect other people, though.
It really can. It can become a testimony. But it ain't everybody's business. Still, it's still yours and God's business.
That's the
God's
truth.
business first.
It can become a testimony.
It can.
But tell the people, don't test your nerves while you getting your testimony.
And don't test my money.
This guy right here. And then verse 7, Judges 14:7. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well.
Verbally?
She pleased Samson well.
Now it comes to our mind.
Well, the writer put it in there.
He
did.
So it's there for a reason.
How did he? Well, I mean, you can speculate.
I like a good conversation personally.
Good conversation.
That's pleasing.
First.
Pleasing.
I have to have that first.
Pleasing. He went down and talked with the woman. Talked, and she pleased him.
Prerequisite. Good conversation. She wasn't an idiot.
And after a time, he returned to take her. And he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. Behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. He took thereof in his hands and went on eating, and came to his father and mother, and he gave it to them. And they did eat. But he told not them that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion.
Dead thing.
The dead thing. So his father went down to the woman, and Samson made there a feast. For so used the young men to do. Came to pass, when they saw him, that they brought 30 companions to be with him. And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If you can certainly declare me with the 7 days of the feast and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments.
See? You need somebody intelligent.
But if you can't do it, then
so be
give me,
away with you.
Yeah, you're gonna give me that.
Right.
So
what are you worth?
they're like, well, tell me the riddle. Verse 14. He told them, out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. Came to pass on the 7th day that they said unto Samson's wife, entice thy husband. He was supposed to be doing the work to get her for this side to do a job. And they went
trying to pull him on the other side.
Entice, that word just always does something to me. Entice thy husband, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee and thy father's house with fire. And they threatened
to kill her.
Have you called us to take that we have? Is it not so? What is that you said about blood is thicker than water, Pastor?
Did I say anything
No,
about
you
that?
said you disputed it. You said it's not true.
I mean, it's thicker than water in terms of viscosity.
Right.
Viscosity.
Isn't that a great word?
The saying doesn't really hold weight for real. Well, it's
blood is more viscous.
In this case, it does.
Right.
And it shouldn't, but it does.
But it does, right here. Well, she went back to her people, was my point.
That's her blood.
She got enticed. I mean, got the vision to entice. She wept before him 7 days. His heart was broke because she started crying.
Yeah, that's I don't like crying either.
While their feast lasted, and it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her, because she lay sore upon him. And he told the riddle to the children of her people. She lay sore upon him. The men of the city came, they told him the answer, skipping down, and The Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he went down to Ashkelon and slew 30 men of them and took their spoil and gave change of garments unto them which expounded the riddle. So he went to kill these people to get to pay what he said. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. His anger was kindled.
They added fire to it.
But Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom he had used as his friend. So when Samson left, they started doing what they wanted to do. Not knowing that he was just gone for a time.
Right, he'll be back.
He'll be back.
Boyfriend's back, gonna be trouble.
It's gonna be trouble when he come back. You gave my girl the hoop. You did what?
My homie though.
Who told you to do that? And Samson said concerning them, chapter 15. It came to pass, he came back. Samson visited his wife with a kid. He said he gonna go. He went and bought a gift. Because he been gone for a little bit. He gonna come back. Bought a gift.
Supposed to.
Her father would not suffer him to go in. Her father made a choice with their situation.
Yep.
What right is that? Y'all
That's what a lot of people do. They let other folk choose for them. Somebody mess with their marriages, and they mess with their mind, their relationship, their emotions, everything. Letting other folk make the call. They take it to other people, their business. Same thing. They mind your business. Take it to other folk, let them sort it out according to their experiences and whatever they believe in and whatever God they idolize, whether it be money or people or whatever they are, that's their God. Let them sort your godly stuff out.
Wow. Yeah, I think that both of the dads or the parents in here are functioning according to the tradition of the day. So, if you know anything about ancient weddings or whatever, what Samson is bringing is basically a dowry to her dad, so that he'll say, okay, boom.
That's not even ancient. They still do that.
But yeah, we still do it, right? But what I'm trying to say is that Samson's parents are unwilling, essentially, to allow him to have this woman because they're locked in their tradition.
Correct.
Her daddy is locked in his tradition, and everybody's tradition is kind of the overarching kind of theme when God is trying to do something totally different. Right. And just like you said, a lot of times this is what we base it on. We'll let other people decide to do things for us, and they'll stay consistent because that's how their parents did it, or that's what their pastors, whatever. And then
people, God Lord those things. They Lord their pastor.
Yep.
They Lord their traditions.
Yep.
And not only do they Lord them, some of them know that this stuff ain't based in God.
Yep.
But it's what we always
do. It's tradition. Yep.
Because you always did something, don't mean it's the right thing.
Don't mean it was ever right
to be being done.
No, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
I was just talking recently and was talking about change being the only constant. Outside of God, change is the only constant because we change.
Right.
In our frailties, we're human. Exactly. So change.
Right. Jesus made death not a constant.
See? Yeah, that's a boom moment. Say it again for the people in the back.
Yeah, Jesus made death not a constant, a variable. He did it with himself. He did it with Lazarus.
Everything's a change. Can change.
Yep.
He got mad. Got mad at his wife. Got mad at her daddy or the people. He started fighting, killed some people. Had the jawbone of an ass. Got the word out, all that. So that's the story. Read that. That's chapter 15. Chapter 16.
Good stuff.
Chapter 16, Samson goes to Gaza. He sees a woman of the night, a harlot.
Leisurely.
A leisurely woman. And went in unto her, as the book says. Hold on, I'm going to drink today.
Voice in your palate.
Don't use the word. What he said. And it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed him in and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. You done laid up.
We
And
got
the
him.
enemy, He weak. We got him. We gonna get him. Samson lay till midnight, and he arose at midnight. A lot of stuff happens at midnight.
But that's morning though.
It's
That's really
morning. Morning.
Yeah.
Midnight. Boom.
Yeah, the
Then
day starts
morning.
in the dark.
Yep.
Morning time.
4 day in the morning. Samson lay till midnight, rose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city and the 2 posts, and went away with them, bar and all, and put them on his shoulders and carried them up to the top of the hill.
Strong guy.
And it came to pass that afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah.
Sound like delightful.
Yeah. Probably same roots.
Mm-hmm.
He loved her,
My.
Delilah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna skip a little bit ahead.
Mm-hmm.
They get together.
Mm-hmm.
They say the same thing to her. Entice him
Get him.
Get him.
and see wherein is his great strength lieth. This is verse 5, Judges 16 and 5. And by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him.
Pillow talk.
We want to bind him to afflict him. First chapter of Romans. It says people that sit around to be mean. They create evil things. This is a list of things. They actually do evil. Then it got some more folk that don't participate. They have pleasure in the other people just doing.
Yep.
Do dirty. They call
All
them
inclusive.
do dirty. Watch other people do dirty.
That part.
Set it up.
That is this right here. Do this so we can bind him to afflict him, making a plan to do evil.
That sounds like the U.S. government.
And we will give, that's why we ain't gonna get no views, nothing. And we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. It got money involved.
Of course.
It's got corruption.
It's a job. It's a job.
Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. Tell me your secret. I don't want to know any secret of yours. I want to know one special secret. Tonight I want to learn all about the secrets in your garden.
My.
Yeah. Samson said unto her, if they bind me with 7 green whips. Now he just told her anything because she was pressing him.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all think about
this? Right here, because she went back and told her, it's evident because they tried it. So now he should have known about it.
Right then.
His gangster shit came out and said, look.
But she put that Vexham sword on.
She on the other side, yeah.
So
she's lost in her power.
Really? See, he should have known right then. That's really true. Right yeah. They came with the very thing that I made up as a story to do that.
You only told one person.
Wow. How did they find out?
Come on now. They ain't had a camera and the internet back then.
No, that's easy work. You can prove that right then.
Should have known it from that, but should have known it from Timna.
That part, true.
Right? Just went through the same situation with the different young ladies.
Right.
Yeah.
They know where to get you. Bet you
bad.
No better. No better about that mobile.
7 green whips that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Judges 16 and 8. Then the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green whips, which had not been dried. And she, this is what I want you to get, she bound him with them.
She did.
They asked you to get the recon, and now go do it for us. That's that first chapter of Romans, man, all day.
Yep.
God, dog, we're not even going to do it. We're not going to do it.
I got to stop saying that type of thing.
You're not even going to do it yourself. You got to get somebody else to do your bidding.
But there's always an inside person that'll do it, though.
And there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. She already laid up in there with some other dudes. They waiting.
The life.
And he brake the whips as a thread of tow is broken when it toucheth the fire. So his strength was not known. Delilah said unto Samson, behold, thou hast mocked me.
You lied to me. And then she's telling on herself out loud.
You lied to me.
She's telling this. She's snitching on herself out loud.
and told me lies.
Mm.
Now tell me, I pray thee,
Yeah.
I pray, wherewith thou mightest be bound.
Please tell. So you can do what?
But why? Say that part.
Please tell me. Why would I do that?
Why is this information?
Well, I know why, because you're trying to get me. I already know that. I know why. Why would I tell you?
Because you press.
How does
She
she
pressing.
how does she
Have the audacity.
become the victim in this particular thing? I bound you up because you told me that this is how your strength leaves, and I'm going to test it and see. And when it don't work, I get mad at you because in some type of way you mock me. Forget about what I did to you. I ain't done nothing to you. I'm absolved.
That sounds familiar.
Come
I ain't
on,
gonna,
man.
I ain't gonna say what it sounds like. But then we'll really lose.
Look, you said you're supposed to tell people this, Siobhan, like that anything, so you know to watch them,
Wisdom,
not trust them, and give them the truth. Why would she ask such a thing? I can appreciate what you're saying, Siobhan. The only challenge I have with that is that she shouldn't be in his bed. If she's in his bed, then everybody, he's going to feel like, and she's going to feel like some sort of entitlement, right? And then there's going to be, well, you got to tell me the truth on both parts, right? You got it, and I got to tell you the truth. Well, you're taking the truth and weaponizing it against me.
Yeah,
you're using it as a weapon against me. Now, the thing is, and he can't tell her anything to keep her close, but she should be cut right then.
Away.
Because of her intent.
Right. It should be more than cut.
I made a post a couple of days ago. What is more important, intentions or interpretation? What is more important? So a couple of people said it was a difficult question. I don't think so, but they said it was difficult. And I was trying to see, it's kind of like a social experiment. I was getting some questions for the 21 Questions show. And what do y'all think? Intentions or interpretation?
It reminds me of that saying, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plan.
Your plan.
What do you intend?
Well, I figured I'd do this, and then I figured I'd do that, and then I. Foolishness.
Yeah.
But I've always been doing it that way.
Yeah. Right. And the cliche is, the road to hell is paved. Good intentions. With your good intentions.
Oh my God.
Follow the yellow brick road.
They landed in some opium first, didn't they? They
were
like lightheaded.
They got enticed.
So no, man.
They got enticed.
That part. Following their own understanding, their own whims. But the book said,
and almost got killed.
There's a hymn I'm reminded of. Lean
not.
Yeah, the book say that. Lean not to your own understanding. And they go inside the leaning on the everlasting arms. Because I can't prop myself up. I can't do it.
Oh yeah.
I'm leaning on him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Old folks used to say in their prayers, prop me up on every leaning side. So again, we have to turn to him. Because we can't do it ourselves.
Right.
Isaiah 30 and 15, which keeps coming up. The Lord God Almighty says, return to me and find rest.
What you want?
You don't want that. We laugh at that all the time. But you don't want that. And you say, I do want it. I can't tell. Do you really? I know we're gonna try to work that. All right.
Just don't want to be loved. Just don't want to be loved.
That was a good song too. All right, so Delilah, let's get back to her. She said, you mocked me. You told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee. It should have been P-R-E-Y. I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. How do you articulate that? Look, tell me how I can tie you up so you can be weak.
Right.
Stop playing.
You're making me look like a fool in front of my people.
Yeah. Tell me your secret. I need to know. And spare me nothing. All of it. Tell me.
I need the detail.
Why do you need the
You owe me
details?
this.
I'm strong, and I got power to do these things.
Mhm.
I got some assignments to do.
If you hang with me, treat me right, you can be up under this umbrella.
Drop the mic. Drop the iPad.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that. You want to take away my strength. And what?
Yeah, it's one thing to, have. I'm just probably saying what you just said. It's one thing to have a secret, right, and tell it to somebody.
Mhm.
But it's a total other thing that if your secret is kryptonite, for you to wake up the next morning with kryptonite in your bed, that's a whole nother thing. Like,
Another level.
I'm supposed to be able to tell you, and we're supposed to be able to go to our graves with it dead.
With that.
But when I wake up with kryptonite beside me, we got a whole nother type of problem.
But wasn't he told not to tell anybody?
Right.
Was it? I don't know. He might have been. I don't know how to read that part.
It's supposed to be. It would seem that that's a secret to be kept.
Period. And
Not
it's only
for-
a secret if you know. Nobody else.
Mhm.
Well, in relationships, should there be secrets?
Yes.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Yes. There's some business that's not anybody else's. I'm telling you.
But you saying that, you said that, and everybody's not gonna like that. Can you expand?
Yes. There's some business. There's your.
Hold on. I agree with you. I'm just saying, everybody. It's not just us. It's people in the forum.
Yeah.
I may
family.
do something. I may do something to protect my family.
Right.
I may do something to protect my family. Violent, financially, something extraordinary. That may be even illegal in this corrupt system. Considered illegal.
Considered. Yeah.
I may save a child from a child molester and murder this man.
Right.
Or woman.
Right.
Because it don't matter to me.
Right.
I bury this person. Nobody knows.
Right.
It's nobody's
But
business.
it's considered a crime.
It's nobody's business.
But it's nobody's business that you did that.
Because it's very possible that I might marry a woman of God who's never had any traumatic experience like that, who's so much against the idea
She overlooks the reason.
that she overlooks
The
the
intention.
reason.
Right. The intention.
No, the reason.
The reason. Right.
It's not intent.
Because you've done it.
Yeah.
And I did it within reason.
With it. And
I was saving a child
for a reason and within reason.
and saving the future children that this person would.
Right.
Because these people,
But you wouldn't share it necessarily.
I'm never gonna share. There's things that I've done that nobody will ever know.
So what do you all say in the chat? Do you agree some stuff in a relationship should be kept when you're in a relationship? Because that was a specific question. Samson was in a relationship. He was laying with this woman.
Loved her.
Loved her. The book say that. He loved her.
Mm-hmm.
And she pressed to get his information
And treachery.
to entice him
Mm-hmm.
for ill will and ill gain.
But even if it wasn't in treachery, even if it was just his wife, why do you need to know this?
That's a good question. Anybody in the chat? Anybody? If no, with no
ill will.
motives or
No
anything.
ill will. It's just his wife.
Because they want to know.
Why?
That's the answer. I'm giving you the answer because they want to know.
And I'll give you the 2-year-old retort. Why?
Because I want to.
Because
why?
Your spouse is
I
going
agree.
to say.
You married. Your spouse gonna say what?
Your spouse is going to say there really shouldn't be significant parts about you that I don't know. If we're intimate, you should trust me with your life. If we place our lives together, you should trust me with your secrets. I should trust you with mine.
There's significant parts about you that you don't know.
Amen.
True.
So now, tell me again.
So I would say, I mean, that's interesting. The thing about sharing or keeping something back, yeah, I don't know. Because married, what Joe was saying, he was speaking for the partner. What the partner is going to say. What
absolutely.
his
Especially
wife
a
is going to
female
say.
partner.
Like so, if you
Yeah.
now that's trading a line.
I don't care.
but it could be both ways. I mean, it's probably more akin to a female wanting to know something that a guy's gonna be like, that's really none of your business.
Wanting to know everything.
But it can be both ways, right? But see, here's the thing, man. I mean, the famous line, man. Can you handle the truth?
Yeah.
Do you want to really see how the sausage is made? Or do you just want to enjoy it? And you need to ask yourself certain questions because, particularly if we're pledged to one another, now you got to deal with the information. And forever.
But I got to deal with it with you having it too.
Right. I got to deal with the fact that you know this about me, right? But you got to know it. And then I'm still supposed to be able to trust that our relationship is going to be what we pledge for it to be. And so you could be treading on some very dangerous territory when it's certain things. You know, I mean, some stuff you just don't you don't have to say everything, I don't think. And I think that you kind of should know, you need to know the person that you're with. You know what I mean? And that could be a really fine thing. And then the other aspect, the other side of the coin is, like you said, what is it? Why do you have to have the information?
Because I want it. I mean, that's the answer.
But because it's not an answer.
It has been the answer. You heard it. You've seen it in movies. You heard people say it like that's
why never ends, and because it's not an answer. Those two things right there, you're not going to come to an amicable conclusion in any conversation.
Parents don't have to.
Why and because.
Parents are parents, and they say, you do it because I say. Do what I say, not what I do. Because I say.
But they can do that better. As a teacher, I've learned that.
Right.
You can do that better than do it because I say. Because you could be telling me not to do something that I see you doing.
Correct.
And you seem to be enjoying it.
Correct.
Why should I not?
Right. I get that.
So parents have to not use the rod of correction prior to. You see what I'm saying? That act that needs to be punished. Right. Don't use the rod of correction then. But then you are, what is that thing when you provoke your son or whatever? The Bible say don't do that.
Yeah. Emil say everything isn't meant to be said. No, as stated, everything isn't meant to be said. Yeah.
Amen.
Shawan said, as long as it's something like Moby, I don't want to know. Like what you said. Mm-hmm. But spouses can't be made to testify against one another anyway. So, but they can be held to live with if they have that information. That was what he was saying. That's the point.
It can scare someone.
Yeah.
It can scare them away.
Yeah.
Now that you're divorced, she can testify.
Yeah. But and then I wasn't even gonna tell you. You wanted you pressed it. We're going back to the scripture. Mm-hmm. You mocked me. You don't love me because you didn't tell me.
And that right there. Bye.
That part. You have to be willing to say, okay.
Yeah. You have to be willing to take the pressing until the other person gives up.
Whew. That's heavy though, sir.
Yeah.
Joe is married. If Ashley comes and press him.
Depends on what she's pressing him about. And that's his decision. Don't take my advice. I ain't married.
Which was what we were talking about at the beginning. Jonah didn't have no influence because it's tricky because Adam had Eve's influence. Abraham had Sarah's influence. Mm-hmm. We didn't talk about Adam yet, but this is just how it's a continuum. Right. Samson had Delilah's influence and enticing. Mm-hmm. Jonah had no influence other than himself. Mm-hmm. So by using Jonah, he's the caveat. We have covered all the bases. Right. Married and not married, just together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And him by himself.
Right. Siobhan asks a good question, right? And I think that you do have to you have to have hard talks. You have to have serious conversations. But let me just kind of put my life in context. Obviously, I'm married, but I'm also a pastor, right? And so there are times when, if I'm counseling somebody or in a particular context, that there's a trust that the priest has
Yeah,
legally, confidentiality,
Mm.
that I'm not really even supposed to legally tell anybody,
Right.
even my spouse.
Police or nobody.
Right.
Right. If I hear something in confidence, they can't make me testify. I'm just like that.
Right.
And while my spouse can't testify against me, she doesn't carry the same office that I carry, and shouldn't necessarily know certain things. Let's say y'all came to me, she shouldn't know some of the stuff about y'all.
Right.
You coming to me in confidence, right?
Right.
So I have to be very careful. There's a line that you walk there, right? And likewise, my dad would always say, when somebody would join our church, I'm your pastor. But if there are certain things that you don't feel comfortable talking to a man about, you talk to my wife, and it's going to stay between y'all. She's never going to bring that to me.
Right. And frankly, he don't want to know.
I don't want to know, and I don't want.
That's the thing.
Right.
He don't even want. He's not even going to inquire.
Exactly.
Not my business. Goes back to what Moby said. It's not. It's some of that is not your business.
Right. So
wow.
I think that everything is obviously subjective.
I've heard your dad say that.
Yeah.
Like, so I can vouch for it.
Yeah. And the other thing I would say is that I have some very tight friends, right? And some of us, we talk all the time. Me and Mike talk all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can tell him pretty much anything in life,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, if he has a homeboy and he's telling me something or whatever, he says, I won't tell you what he said. I'm going to respect that, because that lets me know that he's not going to tell him what I said.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to be the person that says, nope, I'm not going to reveal that to you, because if you come to me in confidence, I'm not going to tell him.
Right.
And you need to prove yourself to be that type of person in your marriage, in your life, in general. And so sometimes keeping your mouth closed, I believe, is something that you're supposed to be able to do.
It's a treasure.
Yeah,
It's a value.
But then we have Samson and Delilah when she entices him. You mocked me.
Right.
Why did you lie? Why did you tell me this? So something, it would appear that he knew he was being tested.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had some kind of insight on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She told him. She told him straight out.
Yeah.
Was pure honest.
Right.
I mean, beforehand, because he told her a lie the first time.
Right.
So he knew even before that.
But that's why I think that he was told not to
He
tell
may
her.
have been, man. I'm not. I
keep the secret.
Yeah.
He may have
I don't know.
He may have been.
I could be making that up.
Probably not.
Because that's what you would do. That's what you would do. Because that's what you would do. I don't care what you press me with.
No.
You just can't get it.
Bye.
Wow. I made a post. I think I was telling the pastor about this. Maybe you'll find this interesting. We talked about it in one of the other sessions. I make memes on my phone all the time, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to post this. It blesses me, so I just keep it. Or I'll share it with a person. I'll share it with Joe.
Right.
Should we strive to keep the peace or to seek it? That was the question. And this just made me think of that again. Samson was trying to keep the peace.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's vexing me. She's
Man, I just want her off my back.
I want to be clear of that. So he said it. But he navigated it in a way that was like, I'm going to just tell you something. You know what I mean?
But he made it worse.
Yep.
So he was trying to keep the peace when he should have sought peace and got out of there.
I had to drop the gin again.
again.
Wow. Boom. That's interesting. And Delilah said to Samson, this is after it again. Judges 16:6. Tell me, I pray thee. Pray again. She praying. I pray, Lord, pleading.
Big.
Wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. Tell me how the people can take advantage of you.
Here's my problem. Here's my problem. It's a double part question.
All right.
Where does your strength lie? That could be innocent. Yeah. But how can I hurt you?
Right.
How can people come against you and hurt you? Yes, that's
Not like
that's more.
What would be emotionally damaging to you, because I don't ever want to do that.
Right.
But no, just how can I hurt you?
Right.
That's what it say. Plain.
That's great.
He said unto her, bind me with if they bind me with fast new ropes, they will never occupy, then shall I be weak and be as another man.
Mm-hmm.
Delilah therefore
Tried it again.
took new ropes and bound him therewith and said unto him, Philistines be upon thee, Samson. Get up. They coming.
Mm-hmm.
And there were liars in wait abiding in the chamber, and he brake them off from his arms like a thread. And Delilah said unto Samson, hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Again, tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound.
Hitherto, she done brought more men in this house again.
Yee-bah. Well, it's her house too, so
No,
it's both their house.
no.
It can't be both their house.
No.
Why? Why?
That's the problem.
Doc.
Life, living in the pursuit of happiness are your rights given by God. You have a right to my house.
You give them up though when you get married, or not?
Yes, no, not at all. Not at all. I don't think so. No, just like the pursuit of peace, you don't give it up because you got married. You should have to. That's right. What would you do that for? You could pursue peace with that person.
To keep peace. I
No,
mean, that's
you
what
pursue
that's the
peace
thing.
pursue peace with that person. Now, if they're not willing to pursue peace with you, y'all unequally yoked.
Makes sense to me. What you say?
It makes sense. Perfect sense.
Delilah said to Samson, you mock me again. All right. Judges 16 and 14. 16 and 13. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. He said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web.
Give me a hair weave. So
Yeah. And she fastened it with a pin. Should have said a bobby pin right there. And said unto him, the Philistine, wake up, they coming. She was a good actor. And he waked out of his sleep and went away with the pin of the beam and with the web. And she said unto him, how canst thou say I love thee when thine heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. You haven't told me, so you don't love me. Your heart is somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm sad about it. Don't say okay like that.
Oh my God.
That's a don't do that.
Emotional.
And it came to pass when she pressed him daily with her words. She pressed him daily with her words and urged him. Catch this. Judges 16 and 16. And it came to pass. That means time, over a period of time. Comma. When she pressed him daily with her words, comma, and urged him, comma, so that his soul was vexed unto death. So you thought that your nerves was blunt one time? You ain't never ever had this in the comments. I know none of y'all ever done that, in none of the boomers here, but have you ever been aware of something like that happening?
Had your nerve plucked till you almost died.
Yeah.
Man,
can you even imagine? I mean, let that sit for a minute.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I had to read it like that. It came to pass. That's time. When she pressed him daily, that's time again.
Right.
So consistent. It was over, let's say a week. We're just saying for the sake of the time. Over the course of a week, every day. That's what it said right here. When she pressed him daily with her words, comma, and urged him. What is the urging, Doc?
But wait, there's more.
Yeah. What is that part? What can you suppose that was? The urging.
It could have been physical.
Yeah.
Along with that, you don't love me still.
Yeah. Poutiness.
All type of stuff.
Crying.
Yeah,
Mad.
the roller coaster of emotion.
She didn't cook for him no more.
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying for him.
Yeah.
For Samson.
Yeah, for that guy.
She didn't do the dishes no more. You know what I mean?
Right. That's how you know it ain't her out. Joe said quiet.
Right.
I'm saying quiet because I'm amazed.
What about the whole thing, right?
Absolutely,
It is amazing.
You gonna bet somebody to death?
To death.
The book say that.
Who been in here?
The book say that. Check this out. But you, because you said Joe said quiet, you are free to say, don't do this. She
I don't
don't.
think Joe's scared though.
I know he is.
I'm not scared of it at all because I can't live. I couldn't. No, sir, I wouldn't.
But I'm saying what we talk about right here.
Right, he don't go through that.
She don't charge you with that at the when you get.
Oh no.
Okay, good.
No.
Good job, Ash. Love you. So.
Not gonna do it.
So that his soul was vexed unto death. That's a heavy jump, man.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 17, Judges 16, verse 17. That he told her all his heart and said unto her, there hath not come a razor upon my head.
Oh.
What does he look like while he's saying it? Almost dead.
Yeah, he's stressed out, stroked out.
Ooh. Stroke.
Yeah.
He had a stroke. Look at his mouth. He contorted.
Oh, let me not do that. I'm
He
sorry.
done contorted.
I apologize.
How did he
anybody who has a stroke?
How did he did that though?
Anything like that.
Wait.
It's a serious matter.
That is a serious, but you're making the point of
Yeah.
is that
This man,
serious?
Yeah. He went from
Right.
To
Wow.
yeah.
Did anybody say in the comments they've seen that before?
Nah, but Emil asked what is happiness and what love.
A choice.
Happiness is your responsibility. That's all I know.
That
There's
part.
a word missing.
You can't put it on someone else to be your happiness or your peace.
Mm-mm.
You have to seek it, and it's not in a
Then
person.
they gonna end up.
Yeah, it's not in a person.
No.
That's the answer.
Mm.
Yep. He told all his heart, there is no razor come upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God. We're gonna wrap this up. From my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then then he can't shut up. He just kidding.
Yeah,
He just kept talking with the details.
Supposed to kill me.
All the earth.
Yeah, he said.
My angel came to me in my mama.
You're right. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, finally got him. She was crying and said, and this is it. Okay. She sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up this once, right now, this once, for he hath showed me all his heart. The lords of the Philistines came up to her and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees. This is what me and Joe were talking about. We're gonna keep on going from there. And she called for a man. And she caused him to shave off the locks of his head, and she began to afflict him. She
worked for the people.
And his strength went from him. What was that affliction?
I bet money it was not laying with him.
No.
But that was done.
Yeah, he already did that.
That was done.
She already did that. She made him sleep upon her knees. That's that part.
Lay close to me.
And she said, the Philistines be upon thee. Afflict him as in whispering in his ear, seducing, enticing, that part. Because it don't have to be
You don't have to be bad.
bad,
You don't
yeah.
have to be that painful like that.
The end result is bad. That's the point. And he woke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as at the other times before. I know you ain't that though. That now you done told the real secret. She done did every other lie. And now you.
Well, see, here's the thing. His beliefs have changed.
Explain.
Well, at first he believed he should not tell her. So much so that he lied to her over and over again. He really believed this is my business. Then he gave up his business. He changed his beliefs.
And the end came.
Not only did he believe now, maybe it ain't in my hand. Maybe I still got it.
That half cocky joint that we talked about.
She messed him up.
Well, yeah, because if you
Wow.
really, whenever this is one of my favorite stories to teach my sons or young black men, because when you go back to him being a Nazarite, he's supposed to stay away from things that's unclean. He's never supposed to have his hair cut.
Yep.
He's never supposed to drink anything that comes from a vine. Well, he violates all of that. The first, when he's in Timnah, he's in a vineyard when the lion comes on him.
Yep.
Right?
Correct. Yep.
Then when he kills the lion, he goes back into the carcass and gets the honey out.
Correct.
He ain't supposed to eat nothing unclean.
Unclean.
Right?
Right.
Even the jawbone of the ass is something that
Dead.
is dead. He ain't
Correct.
so he's been kind of testing the waters and violating and doing different things. And so finally, when he's done all of them and gets to the last one, even when you think about the one before, the penultimate one, when he's playing around with his hair, right? He's still kind of teetering on that.
When she put it up in a bar and a pen and stuff, right. Right.
And so he probably, like you said, man, he probably felt like, man, I've been violating, ain't that happened?
Right.
And then God said, okay,
change his belief.
here comes the price.
Yeah.
The price of disobedience.
Wages of sin
is death.
But the gift of God.
He said, I'm going to do like the other times before and shake myself. I'm going to get up, shake that off because you put me to sleep. Shake that off. And he wist not that the Lord was departed from him.
Wishy-washy.
But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes, the price of disobedience, and brought him down to Gaza. He didn't keep his eyes on the Lord.
Change his beliefs.
We're going to cut. That's actually really good. And bound him with fetters of brass. And he did grind in the prison house. Put you to work.
I see how strong you how strong you is. Pick that rock up.
Oh, you ain't got that strength no more. So we're going to put that weight on you.
Yes, sir.
The old weight. We're putting that on you for now. Hey, that's a whole thing in there right there.
Absolutely.
The old weight that you used to could pick up.
Right.
That you don't have the strength for no more.
What you got.
We're going to put that on you to ensure that you are still in. I made this other post. I'm always making a meme. It said, if people hold you to your past, you should not allow them into your future.
That is correct. Amen. Leave them there.
And that is this part. Exactly. They are treating him like the old Samson for their new game, their new benefit, and their new agendas. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Man.
And also to mock him too.
And to mock him. They put him in the prison house. His hair began to grow again after he was shaving. They had him there a while. The Lord's gathered together. The Lord of the Philistines gathered them together. This is Judges 16 and 23. To offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon, their God, and to rejoice. For they said, our God have delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hands. Then when the people saw him, they praised their God. They said, our God has delivered into our hands our enemy and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us. Verse 25, and it came to pass time when their hearts were merry, and they said, call for Samson. We're going to make sport of him now, that he may make us sport. Then they called for Samson out of the prison house, and he made them sport. And they set him between the pillars. What were they doing to make sport of him? Just
throwing stuff.
Yeah. Hold this right quick.
Yeah.
Don't drop it. Stand on one leg.
Pressure. A lot of pressure.
Samson said unto the lad that held him by the hand, suffer me that I may feel the pillars whereupon the house standeth, that I may lean upon them. He don't have no sight. He don't have no strength. What he did retain in the midst of all of it was faith and hope.
Faith.
See, he had to have faith because he couldn't see literal.
Right.
Could not see. You got that right? Faith. But his faith was increased. He should have been there before all of this. You should have stayed in that place.
Right.
This is how God worked, though. In the prison, with the weight of your past on you, he sends evidence of his presence, and his hair began to grow. Talk to me.
Yeah. Only God. Second chances.
Gives you a remembrance of that.
That's it. And second
He'll meet you right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
His hair began to grow. The little boy put him in the middle of the two pillars, right? Awesome. He said, put me right there so I can feel it. I need to feel the senses that God gave you. When you don't have this one, rely on the other one.
Should be stronger.
Should be stronger with the other sense. The beauty of this is that it's so evident that it's not by your might, not your will.
Glory goes to God.
See, you had to be all the way depleted so that you can prove, so God can prove himself. Right? You got to be tapped out. You couldn't lift it no way.
Right.
He was doing it the whole time. I'm going to prove it to you. So I'm going to take all of that, the key and the secret, away from you and still do it. That's what's real good about that.
But God, only God.
Only God. Put me in there. He said the house was full of men and women, and all the lords of the Philistines were there. It was a house party, a great big house party.
I can imagine.
Samson called upon the Lord. And at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed. You have to be tapped out, like he said. He called unto the Lord and said, "O Lord God, remember me." He said, I know I didn't remember you when you told me to do this, but please remember me. I pray thee, and strengthen me, I pray thee, only this once. God, if you do this, I ain't going to ask you nothing else. How many of y'all prayed that prayer? I know y'all do, not the boomers. Anybody else? The people that don't do everything right every time.
I knew I was going to be asking.
Knew it.
He knew it too. Yeah, so you good.
Right. Only this once, oh God, that I may be at once, in the selfsame hour, at once avenged of the Philistines for my two eyes. Samson took hold of the two middle pillars upon which the house stood, and on which it was borne up, of the one with his right hand and the other with his left. Samson said, "Let me die with the Philistines."
Well, he already understood. He said something about vengeance.
See?
So he already knew you dig one grave, dig two.
And he bowed himself with all his might, and the house fell upon the lords and upon all the people that were therein. So the price of disobedience, death. Ultimately that. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than which he slew in his life.
He had killed a lot of folks. That was a big party, Cole. That was a huge one.
How big was the house?
Oh my God. It was a palace.
Yeah.
It was the lords. The lords of
the lords.
Yeah, it was a palace.
Everybody in charge.
Yeah, it was the city.
It was the Senate.
It was a small
It was the
city.
House of Representatives.
Yeah.
It was the UN.
Yeah. All
You know what I mean? For real.
all
It was the city council.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
All the bombs, all the hoes.
Then his brethren and all the house of his father came down and took him and brought him up and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol in the burying place of Manoah, his father. And he judged Israel 20 years. Listen, God will meet you at the place of your disobedience, but there's a price. We talked about this before. Is there a price? And the answer is yes, I believe. We're going to talk about it briefly and go. Is there a price for your ignorance?
Yeah.
All right?
When people perish.
For lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Got that? Accountability for your ignorance, though. Should it be that? Is it or should it be?
I mean, if you're going to die because you're ignorant, you held accountable.
Well, that can be a consequence.
Mm-hmm.
If you never tell the child to not put a knife or fork inside of the outlet. You never told them. They're ignorant of that. And they go and do it and they die. That is a consequence of ignorance.
Correct.
If you told them and they do it anyway,
which is going to happen sometime,
that's a consequence. That's accountability and consequence.
That's a consequence of disobedience.
Of disobedience. A price, of disobedience.
Right.
Yeah, so both have a price. And the ultimate is death. And usually it leads, all of it leads to death.
Yeah, but in that particular context, the parent is responsible if the child is ignorant. The child is responsible if the child is disobedient. So while there are consequences, if you have not trained your child right, their ignorance is on you. In this particular example, Samson was not ignorant at all.
No.
He was willfully disobedient. The thing that kind of that really hits me about this story is that you hear the Philistines and all those guys saying that their God is the reason why Samson is in this affliction.
Correct. Dagon, right?
So, in context, if what they were saying is true, it would be the enemy put Samson in this position, but that did not happen.
See?
Samson put
Samson in
that position. The enemy, the devil, the enemy, the imps, all that had nothing to do with it.
You did it, Samson.
You did it.
You did it.
Opened yourself up to the enemy.
You did it.
But you did that. And that is the thing that when we're looking at disobedience, a lot of times we want to try to, blame the devil and we're real supernatural and spiritual, but most of the time it is not Satan.
No, it is you.
It is
Listen,
you.
So this is a beautiful segue. Next week, I think we're going to be talking about Adam. But here's the thing. So you said about parenting and children. Let's move into husband and wife. So, or togetherness. You're accountable for that. So Adam and Eve, for example, he is accountable for what he was told.
He was supposed to share that.
But we're gonna definitely get into that.
Yeah,
we got to get into that because I heard that he is responsible for what she did too, right? And so, in the case of Samson, she vexed him sore unto death. So he wanted to keep her, like what you said. So I got to pay the price because I want to. That's a lot, bro.
It is a lot.
We're gonna talk about this. Adam
Next
was
week?
given the instruction, not Eve.
Correct.
Adam was.
Well,
Then
Adam
she was created.
But
He was supposed to
was
convey it.
her.
So the question becomes: did he say it inadequately, or did she just refuse to receive the information?
You couldn't have, well, see, we getting there next week, but
We're gonna. If he said it adequately, then it wouldn't have went down the way it did.
not necessarily because
No,
she
not
said
at all.
because are we doing this next week?
No, we're doing this next week.
All right.
Next week. I love
All
y'all. Oh man. Karen said, neglect, ignorance, denial, disobedience, all cost money. Wow.
And life.
Yeah. You see everybody in there, Emil, Bouquet.
Thank you, Emil.
You.
Bless you, brother.
Siobhan
Praying
in
for
there.
you, brother.
Man. Somebody else that came in there asked. Tracy, I thought Tracy was in there. Over the top. Yep, Tracy Saunders. Hey, Trace.
Oh yeah, she came in earlier.
Wow, man.
Don't pay the price.
The price of disobedience. Wow. That's a lot.
I got another one, but
Say it, brother.
No,
We're gonna go though,
no,
but say it.
bro, we did there. Okay, we've done the price of disobedience.
Yes.
We got to do something called the price of obedience.
Obedience.
Oh
Yes.
my God, I can't wait.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. You heard it here first.
I can't wait.
The price of obedience.
They ain't gonna like that one.
Oh my, he said you're not gonna like it. But yeah, come back. All right.
Did Joe pay the price of obedience?
Job. We should start with him. All right. Listen, we love y'all. Let's all do it together. Give me some booms in there. It's tomorrow. Oh, let me say this. Tomorrow is my baby girl's birthday. Micah. It's Micah's birthday. Y'all say happy birthday.
birthday.
I don't show. Yeah.
Tomorrow, Jasmine's birthday.
Jasmine's birthday tomorrow. All right, let's get some booms in there.
Boom.
We love y'all. Love you. See y'all next week. All right. Peace. It was a